Thanks for listening to the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast, where each week we talk about a free piece or two of technology that you can use in your classroom. I'm your host, Shanna Martin. I'm a middle school teacher, technology coach, and personalized learning coordinator for my district.
And I'm her producer and husband, Fuzz.
Hey.
What's up?
I don't know. It's not snowing yet outside.
It isn't.
I feel like that's a win compared to last year at this time.
According to the weather people, it is one of the 6 Novembers that we have not had traceable snow.
Wow.
It happens once every 6 years. That's what it is. Once every 6 years we don't get snow. Last year we had 13 inches of snow by this time, and this year we have nothing but a trace.
No. But everyone's got all of their holiday decorations up because it's warm outside.
Yes, and they're bored in the house. Also, I have the snowblower all
primed and ready to go. And that could be why, too, it hasn't snowed yet, because everybody is ready this year.
Correct.
Since it snowed on Halloween last year.
Yes. Last year I had to winterize the lawnmower with it snowing outside. So
this is true. And, I mean, we're Midwestern. There's so many people still in shorts outside. I can't get over it.
I've gone for more walks in shorts with the dog.
Shorts and a hoodie.
Yep, in November than possibly ever in my life, though I was a teenage boy in Wisconsin back in the day.
But then you just never wore pants.
Just kind of always wear shorts.
Yeah, and a hoodie.
Straight through, yeah.
Nice.
It's kind of big guy Wisconsin outfit.
Shorts and a hoodie.
Shorts and a hoodie.
And tall socks.
Wouldn't trade it for anything.
Nice. So here we are, episode 74.
Wow.
I know. I was just saying, wow, like next episode is 75. Like that's pretty crazy. And we're coming up on like year 3. Like we're finishing off year 3.
Yes.
For the podcast, which is weird. Like we end a season at the end of a school year.
Right.
But we started our first season on January 1st.
Oh, of 2019, yeah.
Of 2019.
That's right.
So that's always like the podcast anniversary is in January, but the seasons end in June because of, education.
That's one thing I appreciate about our relationship as well is that we met on January 1st, 2009.
We did.
And, January 1st, 2010.
Yeah.
We had talked in 2009, but met on January 1st, 2010,
so
which makes it very easy
to remember.
So we're coming up on our
it's our 11th dating anniversary.
Yes, 11th dating anniversary.
Yep.
And will be our 10th year of marriage.
In June. Like when the podcast season ends.
Yes.
See how our life revolves around January 1st and end of June.
Exactly.
So anyway, back to episode 74. So this week we're talking about 3D design, which has nothing to do with the weather or anniversaries. But what I am finding is because of all of the things that are going on right now and lots of teachers going virtual and lots of like kids in and out of classrooms and less I don't know, just access to different resources. So normally we have resources that are
I moved your microphone.
You moved
I apologize.
my microphone, and now it's like in a very weird space. And
you were getting a little loud. I just wanted to make sure.
Back. Okay.
Okay.
So, I'm distracted. So, supplies. I don't have access to things that I usually have because of cleaning and because of having one for every student. And I have kids going virtual and quarantined.
You live your life in a cart.
Weeks, and I do. I am so excited. I'm coming up with a plan for holiday cart decorating. But anyway, so I normally teach robotics and 3D design, which I mention every once in a while. We don't talk about it very much, but I don't have access to those tools because all of my computers I had students working on before were licensed, and because all the licensed desktops were put away this year and the computer lab is being used as a classroom space, I don't have my robotics resources I usually have. So the other teacher who does 3D design, Blake, who was on episode 21 with us back in the day, he still has Inventor because that's on laptops. But if we want to do any other 3D design, we don't have the licenses on kids' Chromebooks because most things you can't license on Chromebooks. And a lot of our PCs are being used by staff members right now. And so we don't have the same resources we usually do.
Yeah, gotcha.
So that's where this all comes from.
So you got to get creative.
Longest story ever about why I have 3D design as this episode. So I went on the hunt for 3D design websites that were free and I want to say like not like bulky, but we've talked about Tinkercad before, which is awesome for like introductory 3D design, but I needed some websites that were more of a step up to be more challenging for our students because they've used Tinkercad since 5th and 6th grade. So I needed
that next
higher level stuff.
Yeah.
And some of our kids are already using Inventor, which is great, but I needed other resources for our students. So we are talking about 3D design. I have 2 websites that are like live websites that have free access to 3D design, and then 2 software downloads that kids can put on to not Chromebooks, because you can't download these things to Chromebooks, but you can put them onto anything with Windows 10 and above. They work on Macs. They work on PCs
Linux.
of a variety of things. Yeah.
Nobody's using Linux anyway in a school environment.
I don't even know what that is. I was like, I don't even know. I'm skipping over what you're talking about because I don't know what you're talking about.
Mac or PC with Windows 10 or above.
Yeah, PCs and so like at home, kids can have access to this if they're like their home desktops and stuff. They can definitely use these for, and they're cool. So, all right, let's get started because this was the longest backstory of my thoughts today. All right, the first one is called Figaro.io. Are you gonna sing now?
Well, I was singing Figaro.
And I was staring at you like, what are you talking about?
The Barber of Seville.
And then I figured out what you were doing, but I was distracted by other things.
And like, Bugs Bunny.
Right. It was Sylvester, Tweety Pie.
Well,
one of them.
No, it's
Bugs Looney Tunes.
It's Bugs Bunny and Elmer, I think.
Elmer Fudd.
Yeah. So I was gonna do it, and then I got the look like, don't think about doing that on my podcast. And then you asked me if I was gonna do it, and
see, and I just set you up so you could sing.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So Figaro.io.
Except for it's spelled differently than the Latin.
Yes. Figaro.io/designer. If you want to put that part in, you don't have to though. So Figaro, what's cool about this is it gives you like straightforward. You get your plane, your work surface, which is going to be your plane. And then right away on the left hand side, it loads you up with like rectangle, cylinder, sphere. You got your grid, you got your polyline, and then it will swap out colors and segments and things like that. Across the top, you've got polygons, you've got objects. It'll give you your vertices, which is really nice, especially if you're using this with students that have done more of like Tinkercad before. Mm-hmm. And this is definitely going to be students that are familiar already with a 3D design program and understanding like the X, Y, Z axis. Yep. So I would not use this one necessarily with beginners, mm-hmm. but the next step up. But that's what I was looking for in my hunt for things, was the next step up. Mm-hmm. And then it gives you like you can do wireframe versus like solid colors, and then they have all the color choices on the left hand side, and then on the right hand side, and then on the right hand side you also have like you can choose materials, You can drag and drop in your own materials. Like if you have a JPEG or a PNG file, you can add that to there to give it texture if you want to, which is pretty cool. And once you've created your design, again, you can start with basics, just like teaching them rectangles, cylinders, very basic shapes, but in a more formal program. It also gives you offsets, so you can type them into the top too. You don't have to drag and drop everything. You can actually just type in your coordinates, which is nice. And then you can import, if you want to import other files, even from like Google Poly and stuff like that, you can import files to work into, and then you can export as like a 3D Systems or a variety of exports you can do too. And then you can publish, and if you click publish, you can click different ways of publishing it out, like your topic and then what you're going to publish as your scene, kind of a deal. And you can put them on different settings and stuff like that. So there's just a lot of options with this one. It gives you basic information for 3D design, but it's still more advanced than like a Tinker or something that's like step by step, which is pretty sweet. They also have a whole community, so you have access to other people's projects, but also they have like Figuro questions, comments, suggestions about Figuro, so they kind of can walk you through, and they have like assistants there too if you've got questions about stuff. They do have access to that. And they have 3D modeling tutorials, which is pretty cool, on their homepage. So you can click like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And if you've got kids that are interested in 3D modeling and they want to do this at home because they're virtual learning, this would be a great way for them to do that. It walks right through tutorials, start modeling, and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty nice. It's set up very easy to understand. You just click designer when you get in, and then you set up your little workspace, and then you're able to get going and stuff, which is pretty cool.
Very nice.
So that is Figuro.io, and that is a 3D design like direct on the website, which is pretty cool.
Great.
Our second one is called SketchUp. Now, if you do, so it's app.sketchup.com.
Okay.
Is the free online freebie one. SketchUp does have paid like upgrades and paid versions.
Yeah.
So you can use this on the website. The kids can use it online. It is, again, more advanced than some things, but definitely still user friendly. This one's going to give you your work plane as well. It's not graph paper like Figuro.io is. But app.sketchup.com, and then you just log in because you create yourself a login.
Okay.
And you can go home, and it will give your own little like your dashboard where you can keep your files, and it connects through Google, so it's like Google like single sign-on, which is nice. And then you can continue to work on projects and come back to them or create new. And this one is going to give you your shapes, where you can color and use your pencil and sketch in more stuff.
Okay.
It will come to, if you click on the fancier things, it'll say, hey, you need to upgrade for that one.
Sure.
So you'll run into that more with this website than the first one.
Okay.
But you do have access to the colors, and you do have access to changing things, and there's plenty of objects and textured surfaces, which I always appreciate a textured surface when I'm trying to do stuff. So the left hand side gives you your basic shapes and your drawing tools and stuff, and then the right hand side actually comes up, it says instructor, which is really cool, and it will pull up like, here's the materials, these are the steps to go through, these are your modifiers, and it will literally walk you through drawing something on your screen. So you can have the instructions on the right in a little video as you're designing it in your work plane, which is nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
So if you're just going to assign your kids like, hey, go design like a 3D house or something, in SketchUp, on the right-hand side, they have a little instructor video with directions that are written that walk you through step-by-step how to create a project. So if you have students that aren't as confident in 3D design, it's nice that they don't have to dig for the videos. They're just in the right-hand side of the screen.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's really cool. I really like that about this one. And then here too, you're able to have your little dashboard. You can save all your little projects and things like that, which is awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's SketchUp.
SketchUp.
Again,
So app.sketchup.com.
correct. Yep, for the free version. And then you can go into the fancy. If you love it now, you can upgrade at any time. So there's that. So those are my
Spoiler,
2 online
they
ones.
didn't.
So students can access them at home. If they're on Chromebooks, they can run the sites, which is kind of cool. They can play around with them. You have access to stuff. The next 2 are actual going to be like software downloads.
Okay.
But oh, holy cats. I showed you the Blender. So the first one I'm going to talk about is called blender.org, which I'm trying to like connect, like every time I think of a blender, I'm like smoothies. So it's Blender, but yeah, it's not smoothies. It's a really cool design site. So Blender, BLENDER.org. And you download it to your computer and it tells you what it's compatible with, which usually when I download 3D, when I try to do 3D design, they're like, you have a Mac. We hate you. No. And so I use a PC usually at school for my 3D design stuff. But this one is now on my Mac, which is cool.
Very nice.
And it is really advanced. So I was playing around with it. I'm like, I am so lost right now. But what's cool is they do have lots of videos and a huge community. But for students that are definitely more advanced, I'm thinking high school, unless it's a very advanced middle schooler, which there are kids out there that are definitely capable of doing this.
Sure.
But it is so cool. They have on the left hand, like between the left and right, they have all of these cool, like, that you can make 3D design, like 3D cartoons with like backgrounds and people and images. And I mean, you can design these incredible scenes. And then they have like camera reconstruction where like as you're building, you can replay your design process as you're designing it.
Yep. That's cool. Like a time lapse almost.
Yeah. And they have animation that you can add and you can do like story art. They've got like 2D drawings. They have so many cool features and they have lots of support, which is nice. They have tutorials. They have like community support. They have like artist forum. They have so many cool things and it's definitely for more advanced designers.
Yeah.
But once you have it downloaded, there's just so many options for students, especially again, if we're stuck at home in quarantine and the winter is coming, and if you just want to or like as a teacher, if you wanted to learn a new skill, this is cool. But I'm gonna like, I don't know if you can see from where you're sitting there, but these animations that are created,
oh yeah, those are crazy,
are amazing. And again, key component, it is free. You can donate to the site, but it is a free software download and it's really cool.
That's cool.
So I suggest giving it to some of those advanced kids.
I will tell you
that are like learning the skills, and this is so cool.
As a person who runs an ad agency, we have animators who not their main job isn't like animating like cartoons and things. It's taking,
but they do sometimes.
Yeah, they do sometimes. Yes, but their main job is typically taking like, for instance, a very famous brand of tractors, which I won't name, will say, okay, here's the new tractor, make it green and give us the proper textures, and like, so they'll give the 3D files, but they come as just wires, like just lines.
Yeah.
And I forget what they call the components of each. It's like a not hexagon. I don't know I forget what they're called, but they'll take those and they'll apply the surfaces and the textures and the lighting, and they'll make them look like an actual machine. Like you, sometimes it's like really hard to tell. A field. Yeah, it's very, very hard to tell the difference between the two, and they make good money. And if you have kids in your classes that like to do this kind of stuff, there is a definite market for it outside of like video gaming, and that there's lots
there's
of stuff.
A need for it.
Yeah.
Cool. And this is, again, I don't know, just go, even if you are not interested in 3D design, just go to the examples on that website.
Yeah.
It's like, holy cow, you did that with some free software.
There's like
really?
a dragon. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there was some like cities, like there's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It is cool.
Yeah. So when I learn it over winter break, we'll see what I can come up with in all of
new summer skill.
Yeah.
Can you consider that professional development if you do that?
Well, yeah. As long as I teach others. I'm teaching others right now.
Boom. Double boom.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Can you also render a tractor for us?
Yes, I will. And then I can get like another job. I'll take on another job. Okay.
There you go.
So our last software download, it's called LeoCAD. LeoCAD.org. And it is a way to design virtual models with Lego bricks.
Oh, I see. LeoCAD, they stole a letter out of there to make sure they didn't get sued.
But Lego is registered on their website.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
Yeah. The little Lego R is in their description.
Cool.
So there's that.
So you get to build on the site with Legos.
With Legos. So this is a software download that you could use with, I would say, like a middle school crowd, middle school to high school. Like you could definitely be really advanced with it if you want to, but this one's more user friendly, where you can download it and you get your parts. So you get actual Lego bricks. There's lots of picture icons across the top. So as you're navigating, like you have file and save and all those things that look like a normal, like easier like to program, navigate when you're going through like a new design site or something.
Sure.
And you can pick your bricks. So on the right hand side, then you have like your solid colors, and then you have your brick sizes, and you can then build with virtual Lego bricks. And they have the wheels and the hinges, and they have all the different things that you can do. But it also looks like a 3D design site. So instead of your typical like graph paper kind of setup with your work plane, they have the base as the Lego brick base.
Oh, sure, yeah, like the flat one with all the bumps.
Yeah. So that's your work plane, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
So leocad.org, it is like kind of works with the Lego group companies, and you're able to, again, download the software. It works with Windows, and you said Linux before?
Yeah.
Yeah, works with that too.
Nice.
And Mac OS. And so if you've got kiddos working at home, they're doing things virtually. What I think would be really cool with this site is if they physically built something with their Legos at home and then rebuilt it virtually, or built it virtually and then built a model at home.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, it would be cool because, like, here's your design skill, and then here's your, like, physical building skill. I think it would be just a really cool project for kids to putz around with. But yeah, so LeoCAD, Leo, and then CAD, C-A-D is big. Like, big. It's capitalized letters. If you're hunting it through Google or just leocad.org. But it is, again, a free software download, and you can build with 3D design on your computer, but with Lego bricks, which is pretty cool. And,
very cool.
What's kind of cool is they have like large models here. This is like their version of the London or Tower Bridge in London, and normally you would use 4,000 Legos to build this.
Oh wow!
And here you can build it on a screen and not have to step on all those Legos. So that's a win, because Legos are dangerous.
Foot saver.
I know, and I just keep thinking like they're coming into our house.
Yeah.
More and more, the small person is using Legos, so
they are.
Our feet are going to be hurting.
Yeah.
So there's some 3D design that you can do virtually, and when you don't have any of the software that you're used to using, you got some free software that kiddos can use too.
Exactly.
There you go. Episode 74.
In the books.
Thanks for tuning in. This has been the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast. If you ever have any questions, you can find me on Twitter at SmartNWI. If you want to get more questions, if you want to get more information on the links to the technology discussed in this episode, you can visit smartnwi.com or message me on Facebook. New episodes each week. Thanks for listening. Go educate and innovate.
Perfect. The ideas and opinions expressed on this podcast and the Smart and WI website. I thought you were going to say something else, so I didn't know that was my cue.
We're off next week, Thanksgiving. Everybody take care. Take a day off.
Take care. Yep. Eat your smaller turkey.
Chicken,
turducken, ham, pizza, Chinese
mashed potatoes,
food. Yeah,
whatever you got.
The ideas and opinions expressed in this podcast and the Smart and WI website are those of the author, Shanna Martin, and not of her employer. Prior to using any of the technologies discussed on this podcast, please consult with your employer regulations. This podcast offers no guarantee that these tools will work for you as described, but we sure hope they do. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, and we'll catch you next time on the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast.